Hey guys, Assalamu alaikum. It's Adil here. Let's get into artificial intelligence and its implications for Islam and Muslims. As you're already aware by now, ChatGPT has sent shockwaves across the internet world. It has everyone amazed at its capabilities, but at the same time, we're all a little bit worried about the future of humanity and how it'll be affected by AI, and especially for us, how it'll affect Islam and us Muslims as well. So today, we'll be first checking out ChatGPT in action, then talking about AI's implications on Islam, both the positives and the negatives, and what we can learn from it. Firstly, for those who are living under a rock and have no idea what AI is, or what ChatGPT is, have a look at this demonstration. That was pretty wild if you ask me. Look, in essence, AI is a machine learning platform. It uses data sets and studies it. Once that is done, it uses algorithms to make sense of the data, to process it, learns how it talks or how a question is answered, how a sentence is written. In summary, it's Google on steroids. No, seriously, this thing has the capability to impact the search giant Google. So it must be pretty big. This thing gives you answers to questions in plain English, well written and mostly exact. However, every time a different person puts something different in there, you get a different answer. Or even if they put the same thing in there, you get a different answer. Compared to typing a query on Google, finding a suitable website, then getting your answer in someone else's words, and then having to reword it, for example, for an assignment. Okay, back to our topic. What can it do for Islam? Similar to the current ChatGPT model, a new Islamic AI, hint, giving you away a money-making idea here, could look at the data available in Islam. So we have tons of books available on ahadith, rulings, translation, fiqh, and things of that matter. It's a learning algorithm. So if we feed it years of Islamic research into it, we could get some pretty useful and accurate results out of it. The next problem with the current model is, from an Islamic perspective, it is basically using the data available to it, which is, as we know, articles or websites available on Google, for example. So it is dependent on the quality of information available to it, rather than authentic sources of knowledge, which we as Muslims know a lot of it lies outside of Google. A lot of it lies in the books and in mosques, and especially people of knowledge. So a lot of it needs to come out of those people into written form as well. And a lot of those books need to be translated into English or a form that the AI understands, and then again, be usable as a form of data for the AI. Look, let's first talk about the positives. Look, such a model could definitely benefit those who are not close to a source of knowledge, like a scholar or a knowledgeable imam. It can also help convert or new Muslims to start getting answers to their questions and become a source of knowledge for them, because you can easily type in whatever your query is and get an answer pretty easily, as compared to having to go to the mosque, talk to the imam or someone with knowledge, and then getting your answer. Again, Google does this to a certain extent, but again, you have to look at tons and tons of websites before you get an accurate answer. The other one is, Islam is not afraid of being questioned or of free access to its knowledge. In fact, it challenges the reader to question it. Now here's an Islamic verse that says, question, in essence, it's saying, go out and question it so you can understand what's being said. So Islam is not afraid of any cross-questioning or getting to the facts. Speaking of facts, an interesting fact is, the first word of the Quran that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was Iqra, for read. You could in fact ask Islamic AI in the future to answer questions on Islamic finance, halal and haram, do's and don'ts, the latest fatwas on a matter, direct questions on Islamic matters, like how much zakat am I going to have to pay? Now there's calculators for it, but if you're going to get an exact answer out of something like an AI system, that would be pretty easy. How much donation do I have to make? What does Islam say about evolution, for example? Or women's rights? There's plenty of topics out there that if you have a source where you can easily type in, get an answer straight away to your question, could be pretty revolutionary for our Islam. Last one is it could provide context to Quranic verses and provide translations instead of us having to go through books, go through a scholar for minor things. It could provide the context behind it. It could provide you with a couple of translations, and that would form a pretty good way of learning the Quran and getting knowledge for our deen out of that artificial intelligence system. Okay, on to the negatives now. We need to be careful with this. I know I said a lot of good things about this system, and the main reason I suggested building an Islam-specific AI model, as there are matters of concern with the current model, ChatGPT. One is, which translation of the Quran is it going to present to us? As we know how deep the Quranic Arabic is, and most times the Quranic Arabic doesn't have an exact or direct English word to translate it to. So we know there's differences in translations. So that's one thing where a couple of translations rather than one could help. The other thing is it needs to be not biased towards one sect regarding small matters, especially around where we place our hands in prayer, whether they're here or up here, or what could be good answers from it to minimize debate and provide the truth. So it could give you all four opinions on a matter, for example, rather than just giving you one as the definite truth. As we know, for small matters, there is differences of opinion. The next one is Muslims would ensure that the AI model is thoroughly trialed and tested by scholars to ensure it is accurate with the ijma, or the majority of the Islamic world, rather than it being up to the creator and there being introduced any biases as to opinions of people. Another one is Islamic AI should never be replaced by an actual imam or a scholar, or regular visits to the mosque and sitting in Islamic lectures or halakas. Similar to what we see with Google or YouTube, sometimes people don't ask their questions to someone with knowledge, rather they would go type on Google and sometimes get derailed by someone's opinion online or a misrepresentation of the truth, which is not good at all. So we don't want the same thing to happen with this model either, where you're only getting one specific answer. Look, I think Muslims should really be coming to the forefront with this before others try to pollute the minds by providing answers which may not be accurate with the thorough teachings of the deen, and being owners of this technology. This is somewhat similar to how we were a little bit slow with making apps for phones, for especially the prayer app, where an example is where a particular application was created by a non-Muslim and some of the information was being sold to whoever was paying more money. So that's something we should be aware of. And again, if we try and come to the forefront now as Muslims, rather than letting others do it, we don't want to miss that opportunity. In my opinion, this particular verse is an encouragement from Allah to go and pursue halal things that Allah has created in this earth, as He states in the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَسَّخَرَ لَكُم مَّا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا مِّنْهُ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. He has subjugated for you whatever there is in the heavens and whatever there is on the earth, all on His own. Surely in this there are signs for a people who reflect. What's even more interesting is that the word algorithm is what artificial intelligence is really made up of, is derived from the name of Al-Khwarizmi, the 19th century Muslim scientist and mathematician who first introduced and discovered the concept of algorithms, which I think is pretty amazing. If we were at the forefront back in that day, in the 19th century, what's stopping us now? Let's get motivated and get to the forefront, especially with brothers or sisters who understand AI and can actually develop this for us. Look, as with anything in my videos, this is just my opinion on this new technology, and I wanted to begin the discussion on this so more work could be done for a brighter future for Muslims. Assalamu alaikum.